Cheers.
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 Hello.
Oh, you smell nice. You do. She's had a bath because she stank.
I like her smell.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate her.
I mean, it's really strong sometimes.
She doesn't get any attention from me when she stinks.
She still smells a bit now.
Yeah, she's just a smelly old runt, isn't she?
Oh, no. She's your good girl.
Bog-eyed, smelly old runt.
Stop being horrible to the dog.
We thought we'd do like a 6-month update on being immigrants or expats or whatever we're called. This week's sponsor is the amazing Insta360. I'll be filming a lot of the B-roll in this video using the new Go Ultra, this bad boy here. Why we moved. Everything in the UK, not just for us, but for a lot of people we knew, even our neighbours, who they're not like vapid YouTubers like us, they're like professionals, aren't they? Like highly qualified professionals. Even they were finding it financially tough. And we were especially. The bills were just going up every month. For instance, our car insurance, that went up just under 150% in 1 year, from 700 to 1,700 a year. And then our mortgage was doubling. You felt it, didn't you? In the supermarkets, you could see all the prices.
Oh my God, yeah, it was crazy. Like things that we would regularly buy, I would really notice, like especially in certain shops as well. Like they were starting to charge like £8 for maple syrup and stuff. It's just, it went a bit crazy.
And it was almost like every time you went back to the shop, it would be
up by 50p,
yeah. Another 50p.
Yeah.
A big part of the reason why people come to the UK in the first place, like a lot of Polish people came over to the UK to work, was because you can make good money. But then with the cost of living crisis, that's no longer the case for so many people. So like a lot of the Polish people have gone back to Poland. The other day actually in the taxi, the Portuguese guy said that he's come back to Portugal from living in the UK after like, how long was it?
22 years, I think he said. And weirdly, he used to work around Bath and Bristol, which was really weird. Like it freaks me out a little bit. Literally in the co-op that we go to on the way home from school. Yeah,
he was telling us about his job was basically be like a secret security guard. So he would like shop in the shops and then like wait to see people shoplifting. He said Bath was one of the worst places for shoplifting. And he said almost every single day there would be an altercation, like a physical altercation with somebody who'd be stealing stuff. He says the UK is just like a wild west. People in Portugal don't steal as much because there's repercussions if you do. And he was like, in the UK, they just get away with it pretty much. So there's no incentive not to do it. So people just do it all the time, and he says that contributes. He says, well, some shops 80,000 a week they lose in people just nicking stuff out of shops, and he says that's part of the reason as well that all the prices are going up in all the shops because they have to charge more for stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that was quite interesting. Anyway, he's come back to the UK as well. He's come back to Portugal because he was like, it's just got unaffordable there now. So yeah, I'm back. That was quite interesting hearing from somebody like him. And then there's the weather.
I'll be honest, that was my main
there's the weather.
drive. Like I've always wanted to be somewhere warm.
And don't get me wrong, like I love a cold, grey, drizzly day every now and again. Just
to be fair, I did wake up this morning and I said to you, I feel for the first time, I feel a little bit homesick for a September day in England. Like to go up to the park and have that smell and the cold school run and and then half an hour passed and the sun came out and I was like,
I miss those days, but I just don't miss 8 months of them. That's the problem, is the UK winters are long and they're very wet. And I only really realised, I think, a couple of years ago how wet everything is for 8 months, because I got my dad's motorbike after he died and I always wanted to take it out riding, but I only wanted to ride it when everything was dry. I didn't want anything to be wet. And then I realised it's pretty much wet
always
for 8
wet,
months. Yeah. Okay, so our favourite things about Portugal. One of my favourite things about Portugal is the Insta360 Go Ultra. I mean, it's kind of a good segue. Anyway,
you just love having a gadget, don't you, to do outdoor stuff
Insta360 are amazing. They're always coming out with some sick stuff, but this camera is amazing. So I'm going to give you my 5 favourite features. Firstly, it shoots at 4K at 60 frames a second.
Tell us what that means for people who aren't techie.
Okay, for people that aren't techie, that means high resolution. So the video itself, the file is like the 4K is like a big like aspect ratio. So it's big. and it shoots in 60 frames a second. So that means if you can upload at 60 frames a second and things look way smoother. But what I like to do is upload at 25 frames a second, but use that 60 frames a second to slow things down. So that means if I want to put something in slow motion, it's smooth slow motion, so there's no like jittery. So you can have the big, huge aspect ratio and have smooth slow motion. Essentially, that's what I get from it anyway. So the videos look sharp, they look smooth, professional. Even if you're just filming your dog chasing a freaking stick. It has a memory card slot. Unlike older versions, you can pop a micro SD card straight into this thing. That means you got way more space, you don't have to panic about running out of memory. There's a way longer battery life, there's fast charging. It's great in tricky lighting.
It's pitch black outside, we've just got some lamps and stuff on in the house, and as you can see, it handles it really well.
Uses smart software to make your footage look good without fiddling with all the settings. I love the fact it's so just tiny. I love the fact it's magnetic and you can stick it to a bunch of different stuff. I took it to the gym the other day and I was sticking it to like some of the weights and stuff when I was doing a workout. It also sticks to your shirt. I'm actually using it for my mic at the moment.
It would be really good actually for somebody who is just starting doing like their own vlogging or like family videos or whatever, just because it's so versatile in terms of like how you can use it and also how easy it makes to film yourself. You know, some cameras it's like you have to find somewhere to prop them and you have to bring a tripod out, or you have to have certain things, and it's like with this it's like it's just like and it's like really easy to get the content that you want to get.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people don't want to faff around with settings. They just want to press a button and record, and that's what's so good about it.
Do you know what else is really good about it? From someone who, even though we've been doing this job for so long, I can find it quite awkward sometimes if I'm aware that people are aware that I'm filming myself. And so it's nice to have like a camera that is really discreet.
Yeah, so discreet.
And nobody would even know it was there. Like you can be like in a cafe or something and just like stick it onto the like the brolly, and then you've got like a really nice background, but no one can even see that it's there, and it's not like sticking a big, or a phone even, like it's that's what I like.
And one last thing that I really love about it is the remote shooting. Like two things. Firstly, you can use your phone to remotely shoot and see what it sees, or you can take out the little camera from the dock and then use the dock itself as a remote monitor. I love that about it. It just means that you can be separate from the camera and see what it's seeing, and it just makes everything a lot easier. So anyway, all the links are down in the description. Go and check it out. Great camera if you're getting into vlogging or just want to film some of your like life without sort of flapping around too much with gear. Thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this week's video. All the links are down in the description. Go and check it out.
I still can't believe we've done it. It feels like, to me, it still feels like we wake up every day and I'm like, oh yeah, we live here.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's true. And I feel like I said to Hannah the other day, it's scary enough jumping into a void holding each other's hand, but when you're holding your kid's hand and you're jumping into a void too, that's even has another element of fear added to it, because you want to make the right decision fundamentally for them first. But we were never happier as a family when we were living in a tiny little van doing our Portugal road trips, were we? Like that's where we felt like we were truly living, and I guess we just kind of wanted to really lean into that. Seatbelts on, kids.
Oh.
Shit.
Oh no. I think for us as a family, it's like we're quite a high energy family, I would say. So like, I think what suited us about the van life was being outside a lot, doing different things, but also like it was kind of stripped away from any distraction. So like we would all have our own little job, and the day was really simple, and I think that really showed me actually I want my normal days to look really simple. Like you realize how much you've kind of made things messy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like you make your life more complicated than it has to be. And that's what the van life showed me, is that I didn't want this complicated life. I just wanted everything to be completely simplified.
Strip back, What we expected. So let's talk about expectations versus reality. So mentally, it was far harder than I imagined it would be.
Really?
Yeah, there were times I felt really sort of displaced, that I was a bit like, felt lost. this isn't a camper van holiday. This is paying bills, this is fixing stuff, this is replying to emails.
It's funny though, because sorry to interrupt you, but I feel like I've had so many people and friends even message me being like, oh, you must feel like you're on holiday all the time. And I'm like, no, you've just moved all of your regular shit to another place. Like you still have, everyone's got their own stuff, don't they? Like that your life is ebbs and flows. And it's like, just because you've moved location, it doesn't mean you don't get all of the normal parts of being alive.
Will we have to cycle to school?
Essentially. Just keep trying.
Car's broken. Accelerator's not working, nothing's working.
Oh, I hate this car.
I think the level of motivation that I feel out here is 10x what I felt in the UK.
I think it's vitamin D.
You know what? I've been thinking a lot about that. I'm like, why do I feel so much more motivated?
Humans so much.
Like, what are you chasing in life? Like, what is your core motivation? What are the fundamental things that you are driving towards with every decision that you make? It's not girls anymore because I'm married. So now it's like two things. It's freedom and it's connection. So because of that, because I know now, because I have a clear picture of what my core motivation is, it makes me more motivated to drive towards that. So, yeah.
Do you know what I've noticed out here as well? I might just be maybe speaking for myself, but I definitely see this in you as well, is that I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I have a bit less of an ego. And I like that. I feel like I've never had a massive ego anyway, but like I just feel like being out here, you have a bit more space to kind of really realise what matters and kind of get out of your own little head a bit more.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I get you. I know it's worth saying as well, for us, I think Portugal feels like the Wild West. And I think that is something we love about it. Like, I love the fact it feels Wild West out here.
Till you buy a car that doesn't start in the mornings.
Oh my God, don't talk about car. Cycle.
It's gonna have to be, isn't it? Oh, poor dogs. Finally, they thought they were going for a walk.
Doggy.
We have no car again.
Right, let me give school a call and just say the kids are going to be late because we've got to cycle in. For me, it feels like we're giving our kids like a little glimpse of that 80s, 90s childhood.
Yeah.
It's like there's still a little slice of that left here. And I feel like that's why I feel so at home here, is because everything is quite like behind where we were in the UK. Like, for example, like a lot of places just take cash, and a lot of places will write things down, and it just feels like slower and less distracted.
And because it's so bright outside, there's not as many people out using their phones out there because you can't see the frickin' screen because of the glare.
It feels less dystopian, like.
Yeah, so you see a lot more people like out and about, just not staring mindlessly at screens, which is quite nice. I thought I would do a lot more chilling out here.
Yeah,
like,
I thought you would too.
Yeah.
But then I realised I've been married to you for like nearly 13 years, and that's not your personality.
I'm trying to make it more my personality.
No,
but
you're not.
We do 20 minutes of yoga every day. That's chilling.
That doesn't count.
That's chill. That's chilling. I call that
That's
chilling.
not chilling.
Yeah.
That's doing yoga.
I didn't expect the Portuguese people to be so nice.
Oh my God, I love our neighbours. They're so sweet.
Yeah, I thought they might low-key hate us for like moving out here and pushing up all the prices, but yeah, providing that you're polite and respectful, and you don't come across entitled, then they are so friendly. Yeah, that was something I didn't expect.
Why didn't you expect that?
Because I thought
we'd been on holiday here.
I thought they'd be
before.
like, oh, bloody entitled English people walking around as if they own the place.
Yeah.
Like the tourists do that. Like the tourists do feel quite entitled, like come across quite entitled.
Well, I suppose a lot of English people are guilty of going abroad and not bothering to try and speak the language and just. I always remember as a kid, like when we would do our little Greek trips when I was a teenager, my mum and her friend would always make such an effort to. They'd bring like a phrase book to dinner and they'd like try and order everything, and it feels like there's less of that now, but maybe that's just my perception of it. But
yeah. I think they really like me. They call me puta, which is quite nice. It means nice guy. things take a long time out here as well. Like things take a long time. People said, oh, like things take a bit longer. I was thinking, oh, what, Amazon takes a couple extra days.
It's the things that you don't expect though, isn't it? It's like, for example, like fitting a curtain pole. It's like you could order it online and then it will take maybe like 7 days to come.
And not go to the right place.
It will go to the wrong place, or they would have accidentally sent the wrong thing. But then you could go into the hardware shop, but then
they won't have it.
They won't have it, and you have to drive to the next one. Like everything just takes like, you have to carve out a lot more time for everything, which is really nice on one hand. But then also when you do have to get some stuff done, it can be a little bit frustrating. But then I find personally, it's like, maybe that's what I have been brought here to learn more of, is I thought I was pretty patient, and I'm learning so much patience to the point where I just expect it now. I'm like, you know what, it's okay. Like,
I think that's you.
What are we in a rush for, you know?
Yeah, that's, you have to drop a gear.
Yeah, you get forced.
There's a super chill mentality out in the Algarve. Like, it's famous for being like, everyone in the Algarve is known from the rest of Portugal as being like really like
lazy,
well, more like
farmers.
laid back. Like,
they say that everyone's farmers, don't they? And
yeah, I think if they were to tease the Algarve, they'd be like, oh, they're just lazy farmers. But the more romantic, I think, expression of that is that there's just people are more chill down here. There's just way more chill, and it permeates over everything.
I think it's a collection of people who want that, who actively have gone somewhere where they know that is the way that they can live their lives.
Yeah, for instance, like most things are done in government offices, like not online. So I had to go 3 times. Each time I had to wait an hour with a ticket to get our car registered in my name. Like, yeah, I mean, it was my fault for getting some fundamental piece of material that I needed, but yeah.
But it's funny though, because sometimes you're like, can I just email you this? And they're like, no, we do not use email.
And if you look at the websites, they're like out of 1996. It's like proper AOL websites. You're like, what is this? So yeah, it's easy just to go in anyway.
I know, I won't lie, I am scared about like the first time one of us needs to book a doctor's appointment or something.
Yeah.
I'm a bit like, oh shit, how are we going to do that?
I don't know how we would have done this move without AI, without ChatGPT. It's a game changer for moving out here. Like, you take photographs of bills and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
The thing that really, really, really annoys me more than anything, and you know, it's my fault for not knowing the language, but getting lost in automated systems. I don't understand. Like, if I have to call Virgin for any reason, I cannot. I don't know what they're saying, and I'm lost. Anyway, so I don't know how we do it without ChatGPT. That's just it's a game changer. I didn't expect to feel so guilty for leaving the UK.
No, I didn't expect that either. It's funny as well with us, like, you know, sharing online. Every time I share something online, there is an element of guilt. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm very aware of the blue sky and the like summer outfits, and I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's because I'm so used to being
miserable.
That's not how I was going to put it.
Another thing that we love now, not so much at the start because we didn't really have our flow with it, is the food.
And I think at the start, because we had only ever done like long periods in a camper van here, when we were eating, it was very different. We'd eat out a lot more, and we knew what meals worked in a small space in a camper van. It wasn't like our normal way of eating, if that makes sense. Like, we, generally speaking, tend to eat pretty clean, don't we? I mean, we're not super strict. Like,
no,
we like Portuguese cakes every morning.
Try and do 80-20, but it's more like.
But it's I feel like
70-30.
You know, we've always been similar on that, like, we want to eat healthy, but we're not going to deny ourselves treats.
Yeah, of course.
Because I just feel like that's the way that you should eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when we first got here, we were kind of in survival mode, and it was pouring with rain, and like, you kind of needed these like hearty, junky meals, didn't we?
Yeah. We now know like where to buy the food. But before we were just going to like Lidl or Intermarché or whatever. But now we know like what stalls to go in the market. We have our favourite like little kind of vegetable people.
And they kind of know us now. They will be really friendly and like say hi, and it's nice.
We've actually met a couple of viewers in the market in Lagos, haven't we?
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep saying it wrong. Lagos. I'll figure it out.
Well, I always copy Ben, and he says Lagos.
Lagos, yeah, okay.
But I think some people call it
6
Lagos.
months, I still don't know what our town's called.
Some people call it Lagos. So.
Yeah. So we go there for our fruit and vegetables, and then we've got a great butcher. They're super friendly in there, and we get our meat from the butcher.
And there's a bakery around the corner where we can get some sourdough.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh no, and the bakery down the road from the Portuguese lady who does the best cakes and the best buns. I love going to the market so much. I don't know what exactly it is about it, but I find it such a mood lifter. Like if I've been inside all day for whatever reason, like working or cleaning or whatever, a trip to the market really lifts my spirits. And I think it's something to do with being around the type of people that also really enjoy, like it feels like a nice energy there. It's interesting too what you were saying about like the fact that we will go to Lidl, but I find Lidl here is like, it's quite an enjoyable experience. Like it's, you know, there's a lot of fresh fish and frozen fish, and it's very different to the English Lidl, you know?
Yeah, it's miles apart.
And the fruit and veg actually tastes like fruit and veg. Whereas in England, I felt like it never tasted of anything.
When we used to have to go food shopping, grocery shopping in the UK, I used to feel depressed when I walk out the shop. Like I'd feel like literally like down. Like I'd need to go and talk to somebody or something. Because I'd be like, I feel depression just from shopping, and I don't get that out here. I feel like I feel good if I go shopping out here. You know, it's a completely different. It's such a weird thing. I don't know what it is. I feel like
the shopping in the market though is a cultural experience. It's not just shopping for your food. It is that too, but like it's kind of, and also we kind of marry it with having a little like date with the kids. There's one particular cake stand that we all just like make a beeline for when we get there, and it's like it's affordable for us to take our kids out for a piece of cake, whereas in England that would be like 20 quid, which is fine if you have the cash to spend 20 quid on a piece of cake each. I just think it's nice to be able to do these things and marry them together with something that's also just like as a family. It's like the kids get to see what the vegetables look like. They get to talk to the Portuguese people. Like Rufus will now like go, if he has a bit of change, he's happy to go and like ask for something. He's happy to like try and speak to people, and you know, it's nice to see that in our kids. They're confident in navigating those situations with the Portuguese people.
I was planning to save a bit of money on our food bill by learning to spearfish. I still need to buy I'm still going down there and I'm practicing. Like I'm going down to, we have 5 minutes walk down the road, we can get to like the cliffs and then into the sea. So I'm practicing, I'm trying, I'm swimming down, I'm trying to like learn how to hold my breath for longer, I'm trying to like be chill underwater, I'm trying to just like regulate my breath and stuff. I'm still trying to get on, but then somebody pointed out to me the other day, like, Steph, you could probably just buy the fish and it'll be cheaper than spending like an hour or 2 hours out there trying to spear one.
That's not the point though.
I know, it's not the point. It's not the point. Another thing that I love about it out here is that we've met so many really good friends. There's such a strong community of people, and it's not something we've ever experienced, not in Bath, not in London. It's just these people who always want to help you, and like they'll drop stuff over sometimes, and like they'll just, it's weird. It's almost like what you'd imagine it being like in 50s America. Another thing I love is the fact every day, well, not really today so much, a bit cloudy today, but every day you wake up and it's a blue sky day. Like, and that's something that I try not to take for granted. And I love in the evening that you can see the stars. You go outside in the evening to put the furniture away or whatever, and you just look up and it's just sky full of stars, and I love that about it. My favourite
thing about living here is feeling so connected to the daily rhythm. It's like when I wake up, I can tell what time it is by how high up the sun is or isn't. And I love that. I love being able to wake up naturally and being like, oh, it's 6:30.
Yeah.
And then like, we're just so aware of what time it starts to set, and like I didn't have that really in England, because our house was covered. So like, unless you made an effort to go outside, it wasn't like you could really tell. But yeah, I just love the fact that we get to see the sun and the moon every day, essentially. Unless there is one cloudy day where it's like, oh, we can't see the moon tonight. But I love knowing like which phase of the moon it's in, and being able to look up and being like, like I feel like I am like some kind of witch or something.
I love the fact mushrooms are far more prevalent out here. Like, they're a big thing out here. Mushrooms are a big thing out here. A lot of people like experimenting with mushrooms, and I love that about this place. I love playing with my kids in the pool. That's something that I just love to do, because I know that that's, again, finite. you know, when they're in their 20s, they're going to want to play with their dad in the pool. It'd be weird if they did.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Whenever you get in the pool, they like literally they'll make a beeline for him. Like, Dad's in, Dad's in.
Yeah.
And then you basically spend the whole time just like picking them both up and throwing them, picking them up. And they're like, me again, me again.
I love how pretty it is out here. I love how much our plants love their life out here.
Oh my God, yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? Like the plants that we would have in England would just like, I'd really struggle to keep them alive. Whereas out here, the plants that we have are just like, oh yeah, baby. Yeah.
I love that there's still so much I want to do out here. I want to kite surf, I want to hydrofoil, I want to go dirt biking, I want to go master spearfishing, I want to go skydiving. I saw some blokes jumping off a cliff with a parachute. I was like, I want to do that. There's so much stuff I want to do, and I love that. I used to hate in the UK when we get to the weekend and be like, what do we do? Oh, we go to a National Trust again, you know, and or should we go? You know, we'd have these kind of things that you would do, and you'd circulate through them, and it just, after a while, it'd be so mind-numbingly boring. And if there was anything worth doing in the UK, everyone would be there. Like it would just be packed full of people doing it. So it'd be like shuffling around with these normies. I just couldn't deal with it. So I love that about it. Things I don't love about it. Number one, our piece of shit car. I freaking hate
I think
our
if
car.
we had known before we came out here, that's one thing I just did not think to look at was the price of the cars out here. And if we had known that, I probably would have paid the crazy insurance on the old car that we had in England and just brought that over.
It would have made a lot more sense, I think.
Because then we wouldn't have had this situation.
And also, the bike won't start either. The bike won't start.
The thing is, we're in the situation now where our car is probably going to cost, with the amount of repairs and stuff that we need to do to it, the same as it would if we were to buy like a normal car that wouldn't break down all the time. So it's a false economy. It reminds us both of being kids, doesn't it? Because we grew up with cars like this.
Yeah. God, I had a car. Well, my mum had a car when I was a kid that would literally just stop if the bottom of the engine got wet. So if it rained and we drove through a puddle, the car would just stop. And she'd be like, right, you got to get out and walk.
The other thing, so yeah, our car's the number one thing I hate about it, which is a good thing that it's only that, like that.
That's another thing I feel guilty for sometimes, is how fucking wholesome things are sometimes. I'm like, yeah, we picked these blueberries with our friends up a mountain, and now I'm making jam. It's like, oh, f off, Hannah. Yeah. Even I'm not want to tell myself to f off, you know, but it's like, it's just nice to be able to do that, and that's that's just life now. And I'm like, this is what it was all for. Moments like that where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like mashing up these blueberries that I just picked with a bunch of my friends. Like, it's just the wholesomeness that I feel out here is so authentic and so genuine, and it's in every day. It's not forced. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you have to actively think of something to do that day that feels wholesome. You just naturally feel more like the smaller things matter more.
What I miss grass, like the feeling of grass. I just miss grass, like green grass. You don't get much grass out here. I miss the smell of the UK in the early mornings.
I love the smell of Portugal in the morning. It's like that salty air that you get, and the sticky weed, I think it's called. Like, that combination is like literally my favourite smell on earth.
Another thing,
if I could make that into a candle, I'd be a very rich lady. Another
thing that I don't love is, Hannah pointed it out, and now I can't stop seeing it, is mostly English tourists that wear shell earrings.
Sorry. I think maybe they must be like a Zara fashion or something.
Star earrings or shell earrings.
Big, I can't deal with shell earrings.
Another thing I don't love about this place is there's barking dogs.
Just the dogs in general, actually. Like, it's very different than England. It's not policed at all. And
some people just let their dogs bark and won't stop. Well, if our dogs bark, I'm like, shut up. I'm like, can you not tell your dog to stop barking?
But also just letting dogs out to go for a walk by themselves. So there'll sometimes just be dogs walking around in the road, like big dogs, unpredictable big dogs.
Yeah.
That's,
another thing.
I can now see why our dogs had to get tetanus jab, not tetanus, rabies.
Yeah. Another thing that I'm finding tricky is this is on me, just learning their language. It's a very, very difficult language.
I think for you it's more consistency.
Yeah.
And because you're so busy with like a zillion different projects, it's like carving out 10 minutes actually is a bit tricky for you at the moment. I think once you've got into a pattern with it though, I think you'll be fine.
My brain has like a 1 in 1 out policy on anything new. So I'm at that age now where it's like, it's just a stone in there. You've got to chip, you know, it's just, it's not much, no more plasticity left. So it's hard to get anything to stay. But the one thing that's teaching me more Portuguese than anything else is the fact that we have the Portuguese baker
Yeah.
lady. She hates it if you talk English. Like you can see, she's like, "How dare you come to my country and not try to talk my language?" So, which is fair enough. So I always talk like Portuguese to her. So I'm learning a lot just from being in that bakery.
It's so funny though how you say that she's always really grumpy with you, and whenever I go in and order, she's always really nice to me.
She's a man hater. Any regrets moving?
For me, I feel like I have absolutely zero regrets. I've had like a flicker of missing a couple of people and a flicker of missing like the smell of a September morning, but like I am so much happier out here. Obviously, you just never know what you're stepping into. We didn't even really know this particular area well at all, so we really didn't know what we were going to arrive to, but it's exceeded everything that I thought it would be. And I knew, I don't think either of us would have moved had we not done our camper van trips and spent so much time here, but I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't realise like how much better suited it is for my personality in particular, I think.
They say,
and the boys, all of us.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was meant to be here.
They say in life you have a base level of happiness, and you could win the lottery and you'd be happy for like maybe 6 months while you're sort of calibrating to this new life that you have. But then you'll always go back to your base level. But I feel like being out here, I feel that's true, but our base level has kind of risen. So we're just generally feel like whenever we go back to this base level, it's still elevated from where it was. So we just feel happier in general about in life. So there's that.
I honestly think a lot of that is down to lighting, like natural lighting. Like as humans, we're supposed to have this natural light on us all the time. It's how everything works properly in our bodies. So no wonder it's like we're naturally feeling elevated.
We came here to feel more connected, and that's exactly how we feel every day when we wake up. And I think it's very important to every day practice gratitude and to every day appreciate it, because if you don't, then what's
the
it
point?
for?
Yeah.
What's it all for? I think
I read a really nice quote online the other day. I wrote it down in my journal actually. It said, if when you woke up today you only had all of the things that you said thank you for yesterday, what would you have? And I really liked that.
that's nice.
And then I'm like, shit, thank you for the chair, thank you for the coffee cup, thank you for the curtains.
And I guess one of what a really positive byproduct of this move is that we get to show you guys this incredible country, and even a few of you are coming out here in person to one of our like retreats. So that's going to be amazing to actually hang out with some people who some of them have been watching
in that particular place as well. I just feel like you know when you get. There's a certain spot somewhere that you'll find and you just feel so at peace there. I feel like that's my spot.
Yeah. There's two best decisions in my life: asking this girl here to marry me, and then moving to Portugal. I think they're the two best decisions I ever made. Oh, and getting the Insta360 Go Ultra. Oh, yes. But please don't think that like we're disparaging about the UK. There are so many people in the UK who are living
a great life,
an amazing life, and they wake up every day with gratitude, and they have money, they're able to save for their future, they're comfortable, they're doing great, and more power to them. Like we're not, for a lot of the time that was us in the UK. We had that life, and then it changed, and then we had to
we had to really question ourselves. What is it that we actually want from this next few years?
Yeah.
Because I think that one of the reasons why I love September so much actually is because in my head it's a new school year still, even though I'm like 36. I'm like, ooh, September, what do we want? Because you get to like reset everything, and it's like, okay, if you step back further, it's like not just what do you want day to day, it's like what do you want from this little bit of your life? Like what is it that you want to feel? I think it's really important to multiple times in the year to go back and address that and see, because it's so easy to get stuck on the hamster wheel of everything and take certain things for granted, or just get swept up doing something that you don't really want to do. And it's good to jump off that and be like, assess it all.
Yeah. For us, I guess a lot of that is about spending these last few years we have left with our kids. And I think as well, it's worth saying that the world that they're going to be inheriting is terrifying and very unfamiliar, and it's nothing like the world that we grew up in. AI isn't just going to change things; it's going to fundamentally unearth the whole economic and social model.
Yeah, and we're not ready for it.
And we're not. And this villa in the Algarve is like our bunker. And
when are you going to learn to spearfish properly so we can actually eat when the aliens, not the aliens, the robots take over?
When we, what being here allows us to kind of observe what's going on and then sort of gear our kids, like sort of teach our kids like how to adapt to this. Like I'm teaching Grayson how to use AI at the moment to build businesses. I've been leaning into it a lot more in the last few months. I've been using AI to build tons of businesses.
What Stef can do with AI blows my mind.
I'm going to show you guys what I've been working on.
It's insane.
Yeah, I've been working on a few things over the past few weeks.
I'm literally like, can you give me a scone recipe? And you're like literally building businesses out of it.
It's what I'm building with this thing is, I can't wait to show you some of it. I have not talked about it anywhere, but I've been really busy behind the scenes building a few different things with AI, and I can't wait to show you. I'll show you them soon. So that's it for this week's video. I think we talked for way longer than I thought we were going to. Thank you so much to Insta360.
Oh my God, I wish you guys could see, but I'm draped in dogs right now.
Yeah, all the links in the description for where you can get the Insta360 to go and bag yourself one. Go to glowstate.com and register to get on the retreat wait list if you fancy booking yourself a few days out here to reset.
I think I'm going to potentially add in another date at the end of November. Not for people to come in the end of November, but add another one for next year at some point. Cool. I would like to do one that's maybe like May or June.
You've had some good feedback on saying about the alternative like Hindu thing as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I just think it would be such a lovely thing to curate for somebody and to drop in as the teacher and plan their week for them as someone who is local and has tried all of these things. It's like, it'd be really nice.
Check out, if you're thinking about moving to Portugal, if it's interesting you in any way, check out portugalmadesimple.com. There's a bunch of free resources and guides on there that I made for people who want to sort of, look at moving out here. Everything you need to know about emigrating and becoming an immigrant or an expat, or whatever you want to call us. Right, we better get going then.
We had. I can't move. It's the rules. Whoever has the dogs on them doesn't move. You go make me some coffee.
Right, cheers guys. Bye.
Bye guys, love you. Mwah.